For the first time, Henry stood before Anne not as her lover, but as her judge, and she as the woman who once ruled his heart, now facing the man who would end her life. Anne says, "Henry, do you remember the days when you said you'd move heaven and earth just to call me yours? The nights you'd whisper my name as if it were a prayer. Was that all a lie?" Henry replied, "You were once my son. Now you're the storm that darkens my kingdom." Anne says, "Then tell me, your majesty, how does love die? Does it fade quietly, or do you strangle it yourself to make room for another?" Henry replied, "You speak of love as if it were eternal. It isn't. Love is useful until it becomes inconvenient." Anne again says, "Inconvenient? You swore before God that I was your true queen, your heart, your destiny. You tore a kingdom apart for me, and now you tear me apart for the same crown." Henry replied, "You mistake ambition for love, Anne. What I wanted was peace. What you brought was chaos." Anne Boleyn asked, "Peace? You call silence peace? You call my death justice? Tell me, Henry, do you sleep at night knowing the woman who gave you everything now waits for the sword?" Henry answered, "A king does what he must. You were too proud, too loud, too dangerous. A crown cannot rest on a restless head." Anne asked him, "Dangerous? Because I spoke the truth? Because I refused to kneel like the others? You once said my courage was what you loved most. Now it's the reason you'll kill me." Henry says, "You made me a fool, Anne. You promised me sons and gave me only scandal. How long should a king wait for destiny to obey?" And to Henry, "You speak of sons as if I chose their fate. Wasn't it you, Henry, who said Elizabeth was a miracle? You held her in your arms, you smiled, and now you'll make her an orphan for a throne she never asked for." Henry replied with anger, "England needs strength, not sentiment. A king cannot be bound by a woman's tears." Anne asks politely, "Then be a man, not a monster. Look me in the eyes and say you never loved me. Say that the letters you wrote, those promises, those dreams, meant nothing." Henry replied, "They meant something, once, before you became my shame." Anne says, "Your shame? I gave you everything, my youth, my heart, my faith, even my soul, and you call it shame?" Henry answered, "You think you're the victim here, Anne? You played the game. You wanted the crown, and you wore it. But every crown comes with thorns." Anne asked him, "Then let the thorns pierce me, not my name. History will remember what you've done, not just to me, but to the man you once were, the man who loved, the man who dreamed. He's dying long before I do." Henry replied louder, "Enough, Anne. You always knew how to wound with words, but words won't save you now." Anne asked him, "No, Henry, they'll haunt you. When the halls of Whitehall fall silent, when your bed feels colder than any throne, my words will whisper back to you. You'll see my face in every candle flame. You'll hear my name in the wind. And you'll remember, you killed the only woman who ever truly loved you." Henry replied, "Guards, take her back to her chambers." Anne does not resist. She looks at Henry one last time, tears glimmering, but pride unbroken. Anne, at the end, "Goodbye, your majesty. May God forgive you, for I never will."